Mehdi. What is up, guys? I am here. Way too late. Match reaction. Apologies that I wasn't there with you guys to suffer through this moment and this team letting us down once again. You guys saw, if you saw my preview, I predicted a draw. I was not feeling good things about this game. Bologna becoming our bogey team over the last few years, but now after the other day, we can definitely anoint them. Welcome, Bologna, to Inter's club of bogey teams. Well done. Welcome. It's official now. These guys are worse than Sassuolo. Worse than Sassuolo, because these guys are actually affecting our title races. They're affecting, they're creating big meme moments over the years. And yeah, fair play to them, but also really, really poor from Inter. Really, really poor from the boys. Mainly the ones coming on this time. I can't really say too much. The why that I have not much great feeling and expectation of this game. The guys that were playing, this was pretty much our strongest team that Inzaghi could put out, really. And the energies just weren't there. I have tried to rewatch a little bit, mainly like extended highlights, guys. Usually we've played so many matches that I can't be asked anymore to watch Inter games. I always, even if I miss a game, I always go back and watch full Inter games. I always find the link to rewatch the full 90 minutes. But this season, so many matches, so many games. Honestly, I'm just getting tired of it. And if I'm getting tired of it, imagine the players. And that's what it was out there yesterday or the other day, where from what I could see, everyone was just, there was no juice in the legs, there was no energy. And then the guys even coming in was supposed to bring that, like Correa, he didn't bring that. Carlos Augusto, I saw there was even an ACL injury scare at one moment, but luckily he was all right. But these guys, in days like this, if you hold a team at least away at Bologna, even holding a 0-0, to me that wasn't a bad result. As I said, even in my prediction, a draw would have kept us ahead of Napoli in the table by a point. But now we're in trouble. We're in trouble because these guys were bad eggs at Easter. I mean, we have had also the death of Papa Francesco. Pope Francis passed away. It wasn't a good Easter break for Interisti. And these players definitely were very bad eggs yesterday, which means now we are in trouble. Napoli are on the same points as us, and their fixture list on paper is looking much better. And our fixture list in terms of the matches left to play is absolutely atrocious. But as I was saying, the impetus and the change, if the starters, our best players, can't do it, aside of Correa, has to come from the substitutes. And once again, I don't know if this goal was going to be allowed. I know a lot of people said that maybe VAR would have overturned this even if Mehdi Taremi had put it in, but this is another big miss from Taremi against Bologna, actually. If you remember a few weeks back when we drew 2-2 to Bologna at home, Taremi had this massive opportunity, point blank range, on goal, and that didn't even end up anywhere near the goal, guys. If you guys remember, sorry to bring this back up, to bring the PTSD back of Mehdi Taremi. Big moments in this game. Even Tadron Buchanan's on the pitch at the bottom of your screen. And then on the other side, this is of course the goal scoring side, the other end of the pitch, but then the defensive side of the pitch is once again Bisek. And I'm not gonna say that he's been at fault directly for many goals, but he's definitely not been a very calming influence at the back. How many times this season as a substitute he's come in and we start to look shaky, we start to look like we weren't going to concede a goal, and yesterday was more of the same. Yes, the throw-in, Inzaghi complained about it. The throw-in first was taken, the first original throw-in was before the halfway line, ended up being taken 10, 15 meters ahead. And then the second one, they made up a few meters again on this throw-in. But in the dying minutes, literally 50-something seconds left in the game, Benji Pavard and Bisek. I'm going to give Benji Pavard a bit of something here as well. As an experienced player, did he scream for that? Did he say, "That's my ball"? If he did, then this is even more on Bisek for allowing this to happen. It's not a massive mistake. It's just something getting his head on and flicking on, but it's a mistake that ultimately has led landing right into Orsolini's path. And again, what a goal. Gotta give credit to the other team where it's due as well. But again, similar things that we keep talking about all season. Di Marco, in terms of his defending at times, another substitute, I've seen people complain about Inzaghi not rotating enough for this game. Fair play. This is, and I have disagreed with and agreed with many takes this season that maybe Inzaghi should have rotated in some games or not rotated in some games. But in this game, he didn't rotate. The forced one was Correa. You could say the Augusto one was optional. But ultimately, actually, when you think about it, yes, the starters didn't deliver in terms of goal scoring or even chance creation, really. We barely created anything. But ultimately, as actually the substitutes, the rested guys that should have gave us something coming on are the ones to blame. Taremi, Bisek, and Di Marco, the guys that should have been fresh. Bisek should have had the juice and the freshness of mind, having only played half an hour in this game, to be able to clear that easily. Bisek is a beast in the air. This guy is what, 6'2", 6'3". Should have, regardless of it, if Pavard called for it or not, this guy, with his leaping ability, with his athleticism, he should be clearing that easy outside of the box. But he ends up with a very weak little jump, not getting enough onto the ball. And then Di Marco, another one who's very fresh, another one with just Bisek only had played for a couple of minutes, so even more freshness should be in his legs. Di Marco played for about half an hour. He should have something more in his, than turn his back. But yeah, it is what it is, isn't it, guys? We are here now to lick our wounds, and we go again. We go again. This team just makes me lose understanding of football. Like, I don't know anymore. This team makes me not understand football anymore. I don't know whether Inzaghi should have rotated or not, because we saw for the first 70, 80 minutes that, yeah, maybe the guys were too tired, no energy. Maybe Inzaghi should have rotated a little bit more. Could he have started Frattesi? But then do we trust Frattesi to do? Looks like Barella had a stink again. I can't really comment on. You guys will have to tell me. Did Barella really have a 5.8 stinker? Because that's a very bad game for Barella standards. Yeah, look at that. 2 out of 8 ground duels. Low pass accuracy in Barella standards. Was this the game for Frattesi? Maybe. I don't know. Mkhitaryan and Bastoni now will be out of the next game against Roma. But this team makes me lose the understanding of football, because, as I said, the substitutes, when they come on, make either zero impact or negative impact. So should they have even started? That's the thing. And who else is there to really bring on? Zalewski is the one that I'm really confused about with Inzaghi's usage at the moment. If we don't have any attacking impetus, you gotta start Zalewski over Darmian. I have to say that to Inzaghi. I know he doesn't trust him defensively, but we need that bit of energy, bit of pace, bit of athleticism. And Darmian, poor guy, even on his best day, he doesn't have a lot of these things. Now having to play so much football because of Denzel's injury, he has even less. And with Pavard and Barella next to him, this was the perfect game for Zalewski to start. And Correa, absolutely useless. We know that. He had those few little flashes here and there, but we know why he's one of the biggest flops in Inter's history. And he confirmed that against Bologna once again. And Taremi looks like he's on his way, even as a free transfer, to become an all-time flop as well. And Arnautovic, with his physical unreliability, this guy should be the one starting these games for us, because he's in form next to Lauti in Thuram's absence, and he's unreliable physically. So there goes back to the management, to the board, for the transfer window that we on this channel, we all agreed pretty much that it was what, a 6 out of 10 at best transfer window, even in January, doing nothing really apart from Zalewski, not giving Inzaghi the tools to compete on three fronts. And that's why I'm not a believer in the treble. You guys know me. And I said by the end of April, if I'm on the train with some of you guys on the treble, it will be the end of April. Will tell us. Yeah, that's it in terms of this game, guys. You guys let me know in the comments below who was the man of the match. Did anyone do well? Does anyone deserve saving? And what would you have done differently? You know, we've had a couple of days to think. Now that I've done this late reaction, should have Inzaghi done something else differently? We'll talk about the Milan, that stupid game, the Coppa Italia. Game's coming thick and fast. We'll talk about that in another video, so make sure you check that out. If you've made it this far to this one, leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Please don't lose the Scudetto, guys. Please don't lose the Scudetto. It's still within our hands, but now it's starting to slip away from our hands, because if Napoli win all their games, as I keep saying, I don't think this Inter team is going to win all their remaining games. So now, even more than ever, we need Napoli to slip up. Ciao ragazzi, always, even on days like this, Forza Inter, we go on to the next one.